What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Black Widow from Avengers Endgame, and you can purchase this figure at BigBadToyStore.com. Just click the link down below. They offer $4 shipping for this item and a lot more. And they offer pile of loot. So if you pre-order this and let's say you're waiting for Wasp or Ant-Man or whatever the case may be, you can put them on pile of loot, ship them all at once. Let's say there's 10 pre-orders that you waited, you only pay $4 shipping and they double box your item. And I noticed that if I waited, like I waited 4 figures, they gave me like 2-day shipping from FedEx. So I didn't even ask for that. So for $4, imagine if there's a lot of items, you're gonna save a lot of money on that. So here we go. So let's unbox this beauty right here. So this is kind of like just a regular box from Hot Toys, and I always do this now. I used to not to, because you kind of reveal the item. You know, if you notice, I go slowly from let's say accessories to body to head sculpt, and I find this beneficial though if you're selling a figure and you're trying to figure out, not with Black Widow, but in general, if you're trying to sell a figure and trying to find out where this goes. For example, this particular accessory. Let's say I sold Roadblock. I gotta refer to my own video to find out where, because he got like little knives and all that stuff. So I gotta go back to my video, find out, okay, so this one belongs here and whatnot. So with Black Widow right here, it's pretty easy. She doesn't come with a ton of accessories. As a matter of fact, it looks like she comes with the same amount of accessories as she does have with Infinity War. And that's not bad, you know, this is what she used. So if you have the Infinity War version, which you know I do, you're gonna be familiar. So you just basically replace the taser with her signature gun, the Glocks in there. And as far as hands, she got like fisted hands, the trigger finger hands, and the baton hands. That is outside of the open palm hands that she already comes with. And on her left hand, I believe, yep, she does have this. Is this the time machine kind of thingy that they used to go back and forth? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched the Endgame. I gotta watch it again. It's a good movie. The middle part is kind of like boring though. But yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a Black Widow, I'm just saying, man. So far, best head sculpt. The accessories, decent, you know. Nothing we haven't seen before. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a comparison video between the Endgame version and the Infinity War version, just to highlight both. And the reason I'm doing that is because Infinity War is kind of cheap right now. If you go to eBay, you can probably get her for under 200, perhaps, maybe even less. Something like that. If you go to forums or in your local Facebook groups, people are trying to unload her because of Black Widow Endgame, and that's just the nature of this hobby. You get the new one, the old one goes out. But there's certain things that I do like about that figure that it's not present into this figure, I would say. So just watch out for the comparison video, just in case you're looking for, if you don't have any Black Widow yet. I'm not saying that it's even close, but it's something to consider, depending on the price. The gun itself looks good, so let's move into the body and start off with the boots. Nicely sculpted, rubber boots, no ankle articulation. That's fine, we've seen that before. The one complaint I do have is the suit, the material that they used here. It looks like just a scuba like suit of some sort, like a bodysuit. You see that zipper right there? It's not functional. It's just, you can already tell. And everything's sculpted. They're not layered. That's one thing that I noticed. Is it gonna be good in the long run? For example, this shoulder pads right here. Typically, it is a separate piece. Now, one of the few moments that it's not separate, for example, not shoulder pads per se, but the knee pads, is with Deadpool. And that was an issue because it's a separate piece that they glued together. And we all know what kind of glue that Hot Toys does. It's a horrible looking glue. It peels off right away, and not a big fan of. But with that being said, again, I compared this to my Infinity War version, and yeah, as far as the suit, this feels like a Marvel Legends, to be quite honest with you. I hate to say that because this is like a $234 figure. You're almost looking at $270 or maybe $260 after taxes and shipping. To get something like this. You know, the belt is okay, fine. It's rubber instead of pleather. I understand pleather does, deteriorate over time, but you can see those buckles on her arms. They're sculpted. Typically, they're actual fabric and all that stuff. Actual buckles. It's not a big deal, but it's worth pointing out, especially if you've held like a few hot toys in your life. You'd notice that something's off. You hold her, she still feels pretty sturdy, like still premium, but you don't have that. You just don't have that feel where like it's because once you take a picture of this, and I did, this is one thing that you're gonna buy for this figure. By the way, speaking of pictures, is the portrait. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is spot on Scarlett Johansson right there. It bar none. Like this is the first time that they did a sculpted hair on Black Widow, and they nailed it. So I don't know if they should do this moving forward, because I also like the not only the hair but the overall sculpt with Captain Marvel for both versions, the Karen version and the solo movie version, and I like both of them. You can see she got earrings there, like a bunch of earrings. I didn't even notice that. And her ponytail, if that's what you call that, like it just goes in one side. You can't put her on her right hand side. It looks good, I'm still all for rooted hair if done correctly. If done correctly, because it looks more realistic, especially for pictures. But any other lighting you put this on, she would look good, man. It adds more realism, but it has to be done right. Has to be done right. If not, I'd settle for sculpted hair. So I even though this is successful, I don't want them to completely give up on rooted hair, because like I said, if you do this right, rooted hair always beats out sculpted hair when done right. That's the caveat to that, is when done right. So as far as articulation, double jointed elbows. The arms, I'm pretty sure you can move it a little bit more forward. I don't want to, put any more resistance that I'm already doing. I'm just afraid that I'm gonna, rip this rubber apart. But she got ab crunch. She got all the articulation that you could ask for. Her legs can move forward, like a kicking forward right here, but to a certain degree, because like again, the suit is kind of like bunching up and kind of pulling back when you do this. Double jointed knee. Typically, that would scare me if it's like just glued on. But since it's sculpted, so to speak, I'm not. Maybe cracking in the future, that's going to be an issue. This is one-piece boot. I wish they would have done the Captain America way where it's two-piece, but it is what it is. Here we go. In her, I'm going to throw in a couple of poses before I wrap this thing up. Here she is in Boromir from Lord of the Rings. But, yeah, I mean, Chiki, you can put. So I'm trying to put her in a dynamic. This is not her stand, by the way. This is Captain Marvel's stand. I was just reviewing both of them at the same time, so I decided to just throw it in there. She looks good, man. You can put her in some dynamic poses, like I said. I'm not even scared of the fabric. I don't think it's gonna break or anything like that. I'm confident about it. I'm just not a big fan of how less of a detailed it is. Like they took the shortcut. Let's just put it this way. Here she is running. This is where the ankle articulation kind of comes into play, because she looks like she's just sliding right here. I have like maybe I did make her look like sliding here. I don't know. But yeah, you're gonna be limited in some poses, but it's all right. You can do other ones. With this one, I'm just I'm gonna put her in a museum pose like this for the most part. And here she is with Hawkeye. You gotta have one or the other, man, or both. I mean, I got Hawkeye, and like I said, I do have the Infinity War Black Widow. I'm asking myself, do I need the Endgame version? I do like Black Widow, but not enough to have two figures of her. Same thing with Hawkeye. I only have one. Decided I'm gonna go with Ronin. He might have a TV show of his own, unless it turns out to be like Daredevil. Like it's an amazing TV show. This is gonna be probably my last Hawkeye, because it's an epic movie. I want him to represent that Endgame right here. And as far as the ladies, I'm pretty convinced that they only have one body for this. They all have the same height, man. Pretty sure they don't, but all have the same height. So There you go, guys. Black Widow from Avengers Endgame. Is this something that you would pick up? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have other Black Widow, is it worth double dipping for this Endgame version, knowing that maybe, just maybe, whenever it's shown, we're gonna have a solo movie version, the one she's wearing white. They already teased it. The head sculpt looks terrific as well. So, but again, I'm not completely giving up on the rooted hair version. I wish they would do another one, but do it right. Just do it right. That's all we're asking for. Haven't given up on that. You know, if you ask me on the top of my head, how many times have Hot Toys done a rooted hair, beautifully? My answer is probably going to be I don't know, because honestly, I'm looking at my collection right now, and yeah, the answer is I don't know. So there you go. But it's an amazing figure, like I said. You can go ahead and pick this up at BigBadToyStore.com. For $234, it's the head sculpt itself is worth it. I do have some problems with the ankles and the suit that they use, the material that they use, but it can get overshadowed by my love with the head sculpt. So that's my take on this figure. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If by any way I helped you out, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and also on Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next video.